What if everything you thought you knew about faith, religion, the universe, and success wasn't the whole truth? What if the answers have been in front of us all along, hidden in religion, science, and the very fabric of reality? I grew up in the Bible Belt, surrounded by deep faith, but as I got older, I started questioning. That search led me to study psychology, philosophy, and ultimately law, where I was trained to analyze evidence and think critically. As a prosecutor and later a defense attorney, I built my career on uncovering the truth beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, I bring that same investigative mindset to life's biggest questions: faith, spirituality, and the forces that shape our lives. I'm Alexis Austin, and this is Beyond a Reasonable Doubt, the search for truth. It's time to uncover the evidence. In the mind, we have the conscious and we have the subconscious. Another way to think of this as we have the thinking mind and we have the emotional mind. Now, I'm sure you all have heard about the conscious and the subconscious, and you hear, well, you have these subconscious thoughts, but this really helps us understand the difference between the conscious thinking mind and the subconscious emotional mind. Now, the conscious mind, this part of the mind can do a couple of things. It can think, it can reason, it can accept or reject an idea, it can imagine things, and it houses the greatest power that you personally have, which is your ability to choose. Underneath that, what we have is the subconscious mind. Now, the subconscious mind cannot think at all. It cannot reason. It cannot imagine. It can't reject any idea. What that means is it has to accept anything that's put into it. So anything that gets into your brain, this is also how advertisement works, is they play to those subliminal messages and they get into your subconscious mind without you even realizing it. Your subconscious has to accept any input it gets. It also accepts behaviors that you feed into it. It accepts what you personally are telling it. It's very fascinating because it cannot distinguish between what's imagined or what's reality. If you're worrying about something, the subconscious mind doesn't know that worry is thinking about a future possibility. That can be both positive and negative. You could also change your conscious or your subconscious mind by feeding it positive things because it doesn't know. You could start telling it, this is where affirmations come in. You start telling it, everything is great, people are always buying, and you feed it over and over enough, the subconscious mind has to take that input because it cannot tell the difference between truth and reality. The only thing the subconscious mind can do is recognize patterns. It is designed to recognize patterns. People often refer to this as kind of the reptilian mind, the most basic mind that we have. And the main point of the subconscious mind is just to keep you alive. It's also to get you to the point of procreation. So all it cares about is not dying and procreating. The body, the best way to think of the body is the body manifests into physical reality what's going on in the subconscious mind. The body executes what the subconscious mind has already accepted. The subconscious mind is the only thing that we have until about the age of 7. With the subconscious mind, before the age of 7, what's happening is little children only have the subconscious mind. They don't yet have the capacity for logical reasoning. They can't decide what they believe. They can't choose to do certain things. They're just acting as a sponge. Now, this is both positive and negative because when children are experiencing things, basically it's just an open sponge where everything gets dumped in before the age of 7. Any beliefs that their parents had, any environmental factors, anything that they see, hear, experience, it all comes in completely unfiltered because they have no ability to consciously think. It's all subconscious. Now, this is incredibly important to know because everything that we experience and think before the age of 7 gets deeply enrooted in our subconscious mind. We have no power to reject it. We have no power to control it. The way that we're brought up completely dictates the beliefs that we go forward in our life with. Around 7, we start seeing logic, reason, and the ability to filter information. If you're thinking of the mind, we've got the consciousness, we've got the subconscious, we've got the body, and then we have our 5 senses. So our 5 senses are what we see the world through, not with. Through. And that's incredibly important because what we're doing is we're looking through these things to experience things outside of us. The things that are outside of us are results, circumstances, and environments are things outside of our mind. Results, obviously, things that are happening, things that you're doing through your body create results. Circumstances are things that you're not actively having an impact on, but they're things that are happening out there in the outside world, outside of your mind. And then the environment is comprised of people, places, things. The way that the mind starts processing this information is through these senses, and then it filters through the consciousness and then gets into the subconscious. But the subconscious also impacts how we see through our senses. This goes both ways. So we can input information into the subconscious, and the subconscious is putting information out, and then we see through our senses based on what the subconscious beliefs are. Another way to think of this is to think of it as your conscious mind determines the what, and the subconscious mind determines the how. We see something out in the world, we objectively see, let's see, a person or a place or a thing. We go through our senses, we see that what, and then the subconscious tells us how to think about that thing. Depending on how you were raised, your subconscious will tell you either this is a good thing, I have this belief that this is a safe, wonderful place, or if you had bad experiences that got into your subconscious says this is a scary, terrible place. It's all subjective based on what the subconscious has as the deeply embedded beliefs. And again, those beliefs are input into you by your family and your experiences and everything before you're 7, and then after that you filter things through to the subconscious. But the subconscious, again, it's on autopilot. You're not doing anything consciously with it. It's running all the time in the background. And the subconscious is telling you how to think of things every single time that you're looking at anything through your senses or experiencing anything through your senses. The only way that you can change what you were programmed to believe is to consciously force new beliefs into your subconscious. The way that you were raised has very definite impacts on how you view the world and what you do in the world. You have to understand that the way that the mind is working, you're processing, your subconscious is influencing what you see. A good example of this is, let's say that you see a dog. So you're seeing through your senses, you see a dog. Now, if you as a little child had a dog growing up and you think a dog is a source of love and affection, how your subconscious works is you look at what you're seeing as a positive thing and you get really happy and you go pet the dog. If, when you were a small child, a dog attacked you, or you heard of stories of a dog attacking, or dog scared you, then you see a dog outside in the environment and you look at this through your senses, what you see is danger. You see something scary. What that means is the results of circumstances, the environment, this doesn't change. These are just things that are out there. The dog is just a dog. But what is real to you is dictated by what you are seeing and what the subconscious is saying about what you're seeing. You can change your belief. You get to decide. Remember what I talked about before. The brain, the subconscious part, doesn't get to choose anything, but the conscious part of your mind has the ability to choose. That's the biggest gift that you have. It's the biggest superpower you have. You have the ability to choose what you think, and you have the ability to choose what you believe. It's much easier to choose what you think because the subconscious is deeply, deeply invasive and it's really trying to keep you safe. It's not trying to do anything negatively. It's not trying to hurt you. It's trying to protect you. But the subconscious only knows that the status quo is safe. It's never experienced anything else. So your subconscious is going to fight you when you try to change it. If there's an underlying belief in there that you are trying to actively change, the subconscious is going to see that as a threat first and foremost. So it's going to fight you on this. So the way that you change subconscious beliefs are 2 different ways. You can change it through what's called constant spaced repetition. That's the idea that at least 7 times, you have to hear something at least 7 times for it to start to sink in, just from a conscious learning perspective. It takes much more for you to subconsciously learn it. But constant spaced repetition is this idea that you continually reinforce a belief or an idea. The mind needs to hear something over and over, but it needs to hear it spaced out over time to allow it to digest, to absorb. So constant spaced repetition is important for changing underlying beliefs. If you identify a belief in yourself that you want to change, you need to consistently, regularly work on changing that belief. This is also the idea behind habits and changing habits. It takes at least 21 days to change a habit because you have to have that constant spaced repetition to change your habitual programming, because habitual programming is a subconscious thing running on autopilot. The other way that you can change a belief is through what's called a sudden emotional response. Now, this one is difficult to do to yourself because it has to be sudden, it has to be surprising, and it has to be an emotional response. If you've always had, let's say you've always had a self-esteem issue, or you've always had negative thoughts about how you look or how you feel, and you're walking past someone talking about you and you hear them say, "Oh, I wish I looked like her. She's gorgeous. Then you have this sudden emotional response where you think, "Oh, I'm a beautiful person." And this sudden response in your system changes that underlying belief. But the way to consistently change your subconscious beliefs is through that constant spaced repetition. So remember, our consciousness has logic, reason, it's the filter through which we judge things, but the subconscious is what's operating the show. The subconscious is the thing that's dictating how we think about things. A couple of things I want you all to take away from this. Everything else that's in your brain was put there by someone else. You can decide with your conscious mind to change that belief. If you rewire your mind, you can change your belief.